Hello guys, and welcome to our March book club reading vlog. This is going to be a spoiler filled vlog, so if you've not read Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson, then click on out. This is going to be this month's pick. It is kind of long. It's like a 400-page chunky thriller, but there's like 100 chapters in this book, and that in itself is amazing to me. But in this book, I've not started it yet, but based on what I've gathered from the synopsis is we have our main character Poe, and she is a podcast host, and she has a podcast where people can go on and confess to their crimes. She's not guaranteeing that the FBI won't go after you. All she's guaranteeing them is that they will have anonymity and instant fame, and that she erases the criminal and crime from her mind the second the taping ends. Then she gets a man on her show that seems very familiar, and he claims that he is the person who murdered her mother. And she is kind of spooked out by that because her mother's murderer is dead as far as she knows because she killed him. So it sounds very, very good. Have a feeling, yeah, it's like mixed media, like transcription. And I'm really excited to get into this one. And yeah, if you don't know, we do have a book club. It is always linked down below, and we vote on which book is going to be selected, so you'll always get a say. And with that being said, let's jump on into it. Okay friends, we are finally about to start this bad boy. I want to talk to you about like the weird author note in the front. I read it yesterday, or I read a little bit of it. Yes. Throughout the book, you'll stumble upon a smattering of QR codes. The code links to iPhone footage recovered by the Vermont Forensic Laboratory and has been made available through public records released by the Vermont Attorney General's office. I'd like to thank them for their cooperation with my requests in the process of writing this book. I like tried flipping through it to see like where a QR code is, and I did not see any, so maybe I just can't see it through like my, oh, I just passed one. So that's very interesting, and I'm interested to like be able to see what that's about while reading it. And yeah, so I am excited to get started. This is quite a chunky book. I'm not sure how I feel, but most of the time with thrillers, if they're over 400 pages, they don't ever really end up getting a 5 because they do feel too long. But with how many chapters this is, I am excited. And it's also broken up into parts. So we're gonna get started on Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson. Chapter 1 is very interesting. I'm not going to be checking in probably all the time because there's 100 chapters, but chapter 1 is pretty interesting because it's an interview with Poe, the main gal, and this guy Ian, and it appears that like he is the one who's saying that he is the one who killed her mother, as far as I'm gathering. And then chapter 2, we flip back to 2 weeks earlier, and she's talking about her dog, and you basically learn that she does not allow people that have committed essay or crimes against children onto her podcast, which I'm like, hell yeah, thank God, because that would be horrifying, and I'm not really sure why anybody would want to interview them. So, thank God we don't have to deal with that, but we are gonna just jump right on in to this. I wanted to start reading at like 8 o'clock, but I just got distracted by life, and now it's 10. So I don't know. I'm reading it on my Kindle. I was gonna try to read all of this tonight, but I just don't see that happening. My Kindle says I think I'm only on chapter 3, and I may pick up my speed. It says 4.5 hours, so we'll see how far I get. I am quite tired. I think I only slept like 5 hours last night, so I don't like really foresee myself finishing it as much as I would like to, but we'll try our best. Okay, so chapter 4, was this guy on the podcast, and she was getting bad vibes that it was going to be an essay thing. And then he starts talking about a dog, and she's like, oh my god, if he hurts the dog. And I swear to god, if something would have happened to the dog, like bad, I would have DNF'd this book right now and the video would be over. But thankfully, he kidnapped the puppy and just raised her, and he had to put her down after 15 years, and he was sad. But he just wanted to confess to the fact that he stole her. Because basically his girlfriend cheated on him with the bartender. The bartender had a new puppy, and so he stole the bartender's puppy after breaking up with the girlfriend. Phew, that was a close one, because like I said, if the puppy would have died, so would this book. Also, I have a prediction that Kip, the guy who's I think like her boyfriend who helps produce the podcast, I think he is going to be linked to the bad guy or whatever the bad guy ends up being. I have a feeling he's not a good guy. Okay, we're going to put that in at 7% as a theory. Chapter 5 is another chapter of Poe being interviewed by Ian. So we're getting some of the backstory about her mom dying, and she saw it happen. So that's horrifying. So Ian's holding somebody hostage. Maybe Kip isn't a bad guy, but he's being held hostage? We just learned that something happened in New York City, and I'm very intrigued. Maybe Kip is still a bad guy and it's her dad they're holding hostage, because that whole thing was all about her relationship with her dad and how he basically became a shell of a man after her mom died. But I'm going to do some reading, and I'm at 8%. Try to get to like 25% and then we'll check in. Okay guys, so this Ian guy, we're at 23%. And I want to read a quote to you. It's basically, like, every few chapters it's a podcast interview with this like Ian guy and Poe. I was really wishing and thinking and hoping that this book would be more like you're listening to the podcast of her interviewing the people, but it's mainly like her life and like her dealing with trying to tell her boyfriend about like everything she's been through because he thought her mom died in a car accident, but also not wanting to relive all of this bullshit, and then going through this Ian guy's holding somebody captive. We don't know who. My guess is it's either Kip or her dad. And I don't think Kip is the guy that killed her mom. I think we know that like her mom was having a bunch of affairs, and I think he may have been one of the other affairs and not the one who killed the mom, because I feel like that would be just too convenient for the story. But he's making her walk through, like, basically, like, seeing her mother get killed. And I just thought that this was really powerful. She's talking about, like, it's a horrible moment, and she doesn't want to talk about it. And she says, see, that's the thing about trauma. You never get to quit it. You never get to walk away from it and rediscover the innocence and joy you felt just before the thing that happened. It's always there. An unwashable stain that you eventually grow to live with because you have no other choice. I'll never have a day where I wake up and the events of my past simply never occurred. I'll never wake up and be thankful all the horrors were just a bad dream. The things that happened will always have happened, and that's just that. And I just think that that's like a very like perfect way to talk about trauma. And yeah, but so far, I think it's like okay. It's reading very fast. I'm already 23% in. I feel like it's flying. But also it's kind of boring so far. Like, I want more to happen. And I wish we were getting more of like the other episodes of our podcast. And we're 23% in and we've had no QR code. She just went to go visit her dad because she was going to tell Kip about everything that happened, but she's like, I haven't even told my dad a lot of this stuff and I want to tell him first. And her dad is so pure that he's definitely who's being held hostage. We've gotten to our first QR code. We've got the muffin delivery man. Pop it into my frame. Heck yeah. Did you eat a bite of it?
I don't know. That's the delivery fee.
God. But we are going to scan the QR. Let's see what comes up. 3-minute video. Okay. I don't know that I'm going to listen to all of this because this is her talking about the murder. I'll throw up. Because I had to skim it because it was very gory.
His face is covered in mom's blood. Then he creeps out of bed and towards me. So slow.
It's very interesting that they went through the effort of doing that, but I don't think I'm gonna be scanning these because I don't want to watch this video of it, of what I just read. Update. Okay, guys. We are about halfway through Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson. And I'm so sad to come to you guys with this. I was reading this last night. I got to about halfway and I was so tired I couldn't update you guys, and I was not feeling great last night. It's giving 2 stars, which is so sad because I picked this for my TBR for the prompt of like a 5-star prediction, and so the fact that it's giving 2 stars is very upsetting. But basically what's going on now is we have these 2 different sections. We have like a couple of days in the future where Poe, let's call her Pip, where Poe is being interviewed by Ian, and Ian is the guy who's claiming to be the one who killed her mother. And then we have the other timeline where like she's lying to Kip, is that his name? Yeah. She's lying to Kip about like her past, and so she's finally told her dad everything, like that she saw her mom get killed, and the parts where she's describing that I had to skim over because it was very gory and I don't do gore. But Ian's like making her do like a live show, a live like broadcast, like going over these things, and I don't think that he's the guy who killed her mom. I feel like that would be too simple, and we know that he has somebody hostage, which I told you guys, and I do think it's her dad because her dad lives like a few hours away, but he decided to come back with her and stay with her until they figure everything out. And so due to that, I strongly believe her dad is the one who's being held captive, and the guy's like cutting off his fingertips and this, that, the other thing if she doesn't tell him what happened. But I am so bored. I don't know why this is so long. It's so boring, and I'm also annoyed because I bought this at like a independent bookstore, so it was like $20 for this one book. But basically I am just not having a good time, and so I don't know if maybe I was bamboozled or I like misunderstood the synopsis. But with the synopsis being like Poe runs this podcast where criminals come on and confess their crimes, and then she has somebody come on who says this, I thought we would spend like 25% of the book like listening to cool podcasts, not like cool, but like crazy podcasts of all these criminals coming on. We had one, and that was the best part of the book, was like hearing this guy's crime that he came on to talk about. And so like the fact that we haven't gotten any more of like bits of her actual podcast is annoying to me. And now it's getting a little bit confusing because like the podcast parts where he's like torturing somebody to get her to talk, those are like on Halloween, and I guess that's like the second live thing that they did. The first one was like 5 days before, and so now we have these 2 different, like the first session and the second session plus the current timeline that's not part of the podcast. It's beginning to get quite confusing, and it's giving, unless something crazy happens, it's giving 2-star energy. I'm gonna try to get to like 75%. I only have 2.5 hours left. It's like 11:30. I'm reading this on Easter, and I don't have to leave my house till 2:30, so I have plenty of time to get this finished this morning, because I really just like don't want to bring it into tomorrow. It's just not what I'm feeling. So let's go get into the book. I broke my tripod. A new one's gonna be coming, but oh my god. So it got like 3% more interesting. It's still giving 2 energy, but I'm at 64%. Poe and her dad went to go stay at an Airbnb because they didn't feel safe, and she's the Ian guy wants to have the second Zoom chat, and he wants her to call him. So she calls him. He's like, do you have Zoom on your phone? I want to see your face. And she's like, I don't want to see your face. He's like, we're past that. And so she joins the Zoom, and he's in her house. Terrifying. Fixed my tripod. Woo. But I'm starting to think that Kip is working with Ian, and the dad is the one who's kidnapped. I might have said that earlier, but that's still my thoughts. Okay, so it's confirmed at 76% that Ian knows that they, like, where their Airbnb is, and he tried to abduct the dad. So I'm standing tall on my prediction that the dad is the one being held captive. But I guess we'll find out for sure, hopefully soon. I only have about an hour left. But I'm so bored. So bored. I want it to be over, please, for the love of God. Or maybe because the dad got away, he's gonna kidnap Kip. But I don't think that Poe really cares that much about Kip. So that she would, like, risk telling that she killed somebody to the whole world. Even though she claims she loves him, it doesn't really feel that way. Maybe. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they confirmed it's a dude, so there's that. He has Kip. That is who's being held hostage, is Kip. Which, like, I'm not really invested in Kip. I don't really care that much about him. If it was the dad, I would have cared more, but also both of which is quite predictable. I think it would have been better. So, like, there's this lady Alice who, like, she's kind of been confiding in, because Alice's mom was killed and her dad, and, like, she almost got killed, and, like, they've been chatting, and it would have been more crazy, I think, if Alice was the one who was abducted. But I'm still bored. I'm still so bored. So I'm on the final chapter, which is like an epilogue at a corrections facility. And so basically, turns out Ian was the guy who killed her mom's brother. They were both bad guys. The mom's killer was a serial killer, and the only reason he stopped was because Poe killed him. And literally, the dad ends up charging in, attacking Ian, his name's John, I think, and Poe kills him. And it's just so boring. Like, it's all so corny and all so boring. And the thing is, it's not even that the story is that bad, but, like, literally nothing happened for 400 pages. Like, Poe just repeatedly kept telling the story to her dad, to Kip, to the Ian guy, to Alice. Like, it's her just retelling this story and them running from him for 400 pages. Oh my God, I'm so irritated. We have finished Tell Me What You Did, you guys, and I gave it 2 stars. I did. So at the end, we do have our girl Poe, and she is in prison. She got 14 months in prison for killing the guy in New York. Assuming because he's like a serial killer and blah blah blah. She didn't get that much time, and they didn't charge her for killing the other guy because they were able to deem it as self-defense. And she's still doing her podcast from prison, and then that lady Alice comes and basically offers her like a job for when she gets out of prison. Her dad's alive, he's doing well. Kip's alive, he's fine. Well, he's like emotionally unwell, but like physically he's okay. But literally, it just feels like it was 400 pages of her just telling her story to 4 different people. And I did not recommend. I will not be looking up anything further by Carter Wilson. I am mad. I am annoyed. I did not like it. I am taking requests currently. I don't know at the time you see this. If book club's already picked for May by the time you're seeing this, I will pop up here what we're reading. And if not, you can join the book club. It's always linked down below. And if the book is not already selected, then I'm either taking requests or the poll is already up. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for joining along if you did. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.